Welcome to Dance with Disease. My name is Ren. In 2016, my index finger started wiggling, which is great if you're training a dog, but I don't have a canine companion. And then the word Parkinson's came into my life. I knew from the beginning that this was not the downward spiral of doom as guaranteed by the brochures, but a kick in the ass to look at my life and change. This podcast is dedicated to sharing my magical journey of healing through trying every alternative therapy imaginable. Thanks for joining me. Let's dance.
I don't know what to do now.
Everything has a purpose, even this. And it's up to you to find it. A warrior does not give up what he loves. He finds the love in what he does.
Isn't that so true? That is from 2006 film The Peaceful Warrior, based on Dan Millman's book, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. Welcome to Dance with Disease podcast. My name is Ren, and thank you for joining me. Have you ever watched something that you watched many times before and you've noticed that you're seeing it with different eyes or hearing it with different ears? That was my experience recently with with The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. I've watched the film probably a dozen times over the last 3 years, if not more, because it tells a story of incredible healing despite medical the medical system saying it's impossible to compete again, impossible to walk again. Well, it didn't say walk. They said with hard work, you'd be able to walk again. And he competed again at a really high level. And I think that's really important. The medical system does the best they can with the information they have, but the information they have is very, very narrow and very well-intentioned. So I watched it again, and it's interesting to see it with different eyes and to enjoy. I'm just reading some notes that so the main messages were enjoying the journey, doing what you love, or loving what you do. And I was in a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday who talks about a cleaning job he had in a really disgusting environment, and how his coworkers were suffering because they were just focusing on the negative, and he was saying affirmations and being really positive with himself. And he was enjoying himself despite the less than ideal conditions, and that's where I'm at. I'm at the place of seeing the gratitude, the great things that are happening in my life, and the reality of the situation, which is I've been given many great gifts because of this. And I just, honestly, I can't get this off my mind right now. So an old friend of mine that I've used to really cherish the friendship reached out to me just to check in and see what was going on. He asked how, he noticed that I was more affected by the Parkinson's. And I said, actually Parkinson's is great. I've been given many great gifts because of it. Maybe that's a controversial thing to say. However, that's my reality. He came back and he said, I wish I had Parkinson's. Not. And then he said, in my previous email, I said, I'm almost at the end of this Parkinson's journey, which is my feeling about the situation based on my personal experience of day-to-day awareness of my reality. He said, what? And then he was like, what do you mean you're at the end of the journey? Bedridden and subject to pneumonia or something like that. Something really cruel and rather fucking ignorant. So, I'm not going to debate somebody's worldview, but, you've got your own worldview, but the reality is it's my life, my body, my health. I can determine it any fucking way I choose. And you can too, right? We are the people we define who we are, not anybody else, and certainly not the medical system. They have their way of looking at things, and that's fine. If somebody wants to go down that route, it's helpful for many people. I'm choosing not to buy into that because I know that people heal from this. People heal from fucking terminal cancer all the time. It can't be explained. It must have been misdiagnosed as the cop-out of the medical system. Or maybe the power of the mind and the placebo effect and whatever Western medical label you want to put on it is, use it any way you like. The medical system has its place. Acute care, if you've been torn apart in an automobile accident, fine, yeah, getting pieced together by a surgeon, perfect. That's the medical system's role, and it does it very, very well. Diagnosing and tools and toys to diagnose, beautiful. Stuff like this, if a person doesn't know how it comes about, so the medical system doesn't know how it comes, doesn't know how to treat it. So that's like following a blind person. Because if they don't know, then why would I follow them? Anyway, so another friendship falling by the wayside. I'm going to be saying goodbye to another person that I cared for, because I want to be really conscious of my mindset. That it's very, very important for me. Because whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, either way you will be correct. Henry Ford. And it's true. And it's been true of my life entirely. I was told when I wanted to start dancing, you're too old to start dancing. I danced anyway, and I danced at a high level, not the highest level, but who needs to dance? I don't need to dance at the highest level. I needed to dance for my soul. And I did, despite the pushback and the negative attitudes around me. And that happened overall throughout my entire life, where I've beat the odds, and I'm on track. And I'm glad you're listening, by the way. So, enjoying the journey. You got to be able to enjoy the journey. And that's another message. This is another message from the movie, Enjoying the Journey. When Nick Nolte does a wicked job in this film, by the way, in my opinion. And enjoying the journey. So when they're climbing the mountain, he's like, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" Dan, the main character, is, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" And he's holding himself back from enjoying the journey. And I have struggled with enjoying the journey. I've always been very goal-oriented and not allowing myself to enjoy the journey, nor allowing myself to celebrate at the end of the journey, at the end of the completion of this. So that's a big goal for this year. That's a huge goal. And gratitude. So I'm grateful to my friend the other day for allowing me to set a kind boundary, which is one of my goals for this year, is to be able to set kind boundaries. Because, and my kind boundary was, this is not up for debate. My worldview is not up for debate. If you want to walk with me on this path, we can walk together, and I'd love to have your company. But if you're going to be negative, I'm not interested in having you in my life. In so many words, right? I didn't say it exactly that way, but that was the sense of it. And that's important. That's really, really important for me to be able to set kind boundaries, because for much of my life I would not set boundaries with people, allow them to cross them, and they just get fed up and then burn the bridge. Cross the line, burn the bridge. And I'm tired of that. That got me a certain kind of results, and I want different results. If this is about transformation, which I know it is, then for me to be able to set kind boundaries is the next step. And I did it. And here's my moment to celebrate. Thank you for listening to me celebrate that I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm succeeding in this challenge. And when you're ready, teachers appear. And I would say that my old friend Peter in Brisbane, he's showed up as a teacher for me. And ultimately, everyone's a teacher, and to be open to that knowledge that when a person appears in your life, positive or negative, they've shown up to teach you something, maybe profound, maybe large, maybe small, but everyone's here to teach you something. Even the drug addicts that set up a tent right beside our house on the street a couple days ago, that was another opportunity to set kind boundaries. Yeah, that was drug addicts. That's another complicated discussion and being present. So I found myself talking about this interaction with this old friend and getting anxious. He might have heard it in my voice. And if I'm truly present in this moment, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling more articulate, more alive, more vibrant every day. And that's the reality. That's the present situation. And I'm just reading my notes. People that are the hardest to love are the ones that need it the most. And that for me is my mother. I have a fear that my mother's going to burn my life down. And so she will trigger me in almost every interaction. And she lives upstairs. By my choice, right? We knew it was going to be difficult. We knew it was going to be an on-ramp onto the spiritual superhighway, because if I can interact with this person on a daily basis in a kind, boundary-setting, loving way, and yet not allowing her to get under my skin, I'm well underway. Well underway. And so that was my basic. Those are the basic lessons that I remember from watching Peaceful Warrior again. Like I'm seeing life through different eyes, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to be in this place where I can interact with life in a wise way, in a way that's growing for myself. And it's happening because of Parkinson's. That's the reality. If I would have been allowed to keep my hard edge, keep pushing people away, and keep hiding from who I am, it wouldn't happen because of this. Or it's happening because of this. That's the reality. I'm grateful for it. I will take the lessons with me once I'm healed, and then I'll spread the word. Lots of love to you. Thanks for listening. Actually, I would love to hear about what you're getting from this podcast if you're so inclined. Send me an email. Lots of love. Thank you for listening to the Dance with Disease podcast. My name is Ren. It's been a pleasure to have you here today. For more podcasts and the films, Dance with Disease, log on to YouTube, Ren the Artist. See you next time.